This podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors. Your San Diego County Toyota dealers. We've got what it takes. Fix Auto. Corky's Pest Control. And Lolita's Family of Restaurants.
Hey there, sports fans, and welcome to the inaugural edition of San Diego Prep Insider's High School Golf Podcast. I am Christian Pedersen, and this is our golf expert, Coach Jack Klein from Francis Parker Schools. Coach, thank you very much for being here. So what this is going to be is your hub for all things high school golf. Right now we're in the boys season. Things are in the full swing of it. We're gonna have our format's gonna be we're gonna golf a quick 9, if you will. We're gonna get through 9 subjects every single week. First, though, I want to talk. Let's get straight into some shout outs. It's been a big week for some high school alumni.
Sure has. We had Brooke Say from Francis Parker School. Brooke just turned 16 and very excited. She recently won the Anik Invitational. We had 25 at the top 50 girls under 18 in the world, and a big win for her. She was on the morning edition, the Golf Channel, and had an opportunity to participate in the Symetra Tour's opening event in Florida here this past weekend. Not only was she the only amateur, but she made the cut, had a really great tournament. So excited to see someone achieving at such a high level at such a young age.
Try and put that in context for the average golf fan, if you will, how big that is for someone her age to be participating at that level.
It's really significant. She's really a special girl in so many ways, but her golf talent, she's dedicated. She works so hard at all aspects of her game. She really represented Francis Parker beautifully and CIF, all of the San Diego region last year. She's really a role model for our sport. But competing against only professionals, they're all college, have played in college and the highest levels, and so you really makes you one of the best golfers in the world. So it's pretty exciting to be
and there. To be only a sophomore, the future obviously bright there. Let's talk about some people that have graduated from San Diego high schools that are back here playing down at the San Diego Country Club this past week, putting up some impressive performances.
They sure are. We have 2 former players from our area that are participating in a tournament this Monday and today. We had Nahum Mendoza from Francis Parker. He plays for San Diego State now, one of the top players in the country, also a D1 player. He played in the Palmer Cup representing the United States, which was exceptional. His home course shot even par yesterday, and he was 2 under this morning when I saw him early. Perry Cohen, who played for La Jolla High School, great player. He is their number 1 player as well. Won his first D1 tournament this year and is having a good day today. He was 1 under when I left him at the turn. So pretty exciting to see these players from our area, local schools, performing at the D1 level.
To those out there that are just stumbling across this, you might not be a golf fan, you might not understand that D1 golf maybe doesn't get a lot of television love. There's not a bowl game season for it or whatnot. But there's a lot of kids from San Diego that are moving on to have great success at the next level.
There sure are, and those are the kids that are also have a strong probability of competing in the web.com and as well on the PGA Tour. And I'm confident these 2 gentlemen that we mentioned are great candidates for that. So.
Let's talk, though, now about kids that are here, teams that are here, because we are in the full swing of things. Spring has sprung. The rain is over.
Right.
Let's get to our first hole. Let's tee off. We're going to go Division 1 for the first 3 holes.
All right.
I'm going to say some teams. I want your feedback, how they're doing right now. Torrey Pines.
Torrey Pines, they're always the favorite, and they're not disappointing this year. Another great start for them. As a team, they're shooting near par. Differential is under 1. Great. They're led by their junior, James Song. He's quite a player, and certain he'll be playing D1 as well and in time to come. They are expected, they're reigning state champions. I think they'll continue in that role this year. It sure looks like it.
It's fun to have a state powerhouse here. Next team in Division 1, Scripps Ranch.
Scripps Ranch, also an excellent team. They're led actually by a senior this year, Scotty Earl. He's playing very well, and as a team, they're competing up there. Actually, the number 2 team, so they're doing very.
They're hot on the heels of Torrey Pines.
Hot on the heels of Torrey Pines. Yeah.
How hot can you be on the heels of someone though that keeps winning state titles, or is this they can see them but they're at the other end of the straightaway?
I'm afraid that they have to. They got a lot. They need to improve almost two shots a player, and that's a long ways to go. So shows you how strong Torrey really is.
Another team that's making waves in Division I this season so far is Carlsbad. Tell me a little bit about the Lancers.
So Carlsbad, another great team, and well balanced, and they're actually very competitive with Scripps and close. I think we'll have a good competition there for the number 2 team.
I've heard you use a couple different key phrases here: well balanced team, but then also led by. When you're talking about high school golf, it's an aggregate scoring overall of all the players. What are you looking for, though, when you single out a team as, wow, that's really a team to look for? Are you looking for they have that one superstar that they can rely on, or just that this team just doesn't have very many really downsides?
Yeah, great question. So in the varsity golf, we have 6 players on each team, and they play in each match. We count 5 of the 6 scores, and so it's really important that you have depth on your team if you're going to compete as a team. And so oftentimes you'll have a superstar on a team, and you just need that depth to be able to compete at the end of the day.
So despite at the pro level it's seen as an individual sport, here at the high school level this really is a team sport where you need to rely on everybody, and like you said, sometimes you need to cut 2 strokes off of every player to close that gap, which that's a little bit harder to do than, say, be down 2 touchdowns in the 4th, or need to hit a couple home runs here and there. Let's move now to Division II. We've got a couple teams to talk about. Let's start with La Costa Canyon.
La Costa Canyon, La Costa Glen is...
La Costa Glen, I'm sorry.
Yeah, there we go. They're actually the number 2 at the moment. They're right behind Cathedral, which is led by the freshman Shane French. Another well-rounded team is La Costa Glen, so I look for good things from them. The number 3 team in Division II was the runner-up last year in CIF. They were kind of the Cinderella team. They came in behind... Torrey Pines, put on a great showing in the CIF, and they're having another good year this year. They're 3rd currently in Division II, but they've got some strong players on their team. Kevin Wan was the low medalist yesterday. He's a excellent player, and I think that they'll have a good season as well.
We've talked about the teams that are kind of up in that upper echelon of each of these divisions. Now, if you're sitting 3rd, 4th, 5th, somewhere in that range, do you need to be worried about that this early in the season, or is that something that you can just keep working at, keep chipping at until the end of the year, and then finally you're like, hey, we're in CIF, we got a good seed, we're ready to go?
I think that most of the teams are playing anywhere from 18 to 21 matches, and so we have only 4 or 5 under our belt at this time, and so we've got quite a few matches left, and they're bunched up pretty tight. So with the exception of Torrey, that's distancing themselves, I think all these teams are well within.
It's going to be really
reach.
Fluid. There's no one needs to hit the panic button quite yet.
Not even close.
Not even close. I like. See, this is a sport that I can get behind, where you can lose a couple in the beginning, because some of these other sports we're talking about teams that are in disaster mode right away. Golf, you've got time.
And you have.
But in reverse, I'm sure that it can punish you a little bit. That you can just keep getting further and further in the sand trap, if you will.
There's no doubt about it. And the differential, the team differential, is really important as we get closer to our conference championships and then the city championship. So it's a full season. So we need a lot of matches left. A lot of holes left to be played.
A lot of holes left to be played. Let's move now down to Division III. These are the lowest teams in name only. These are also still great golfers. Let's start with Santa Fe Christian. Tell me a little bit about the Eagles.
Correct, and I think, and I love the way you phrase that too, Christian, because Division III, it really only has to do with the school sizes, and you can have some just outstanding teams and outstanding players. Santa Fe Christian is an example of that. They're certainly a top 10 team at this point, and that's irrespective of Division 1, 2, or 3. Although it's early in the season, we're yet to see what's going to happen. But they're led by their junior, Nick Gable, and Nick's a really fine player. And again, I think they have they're kind of a unique situation. They have a young lady playing for their team, because they don't have a girls golf team, and so kudos to them. Pacific Ridge is a similar situation where I have a young lady playing on the team, so just awesome.
Sometimes you got to do what you can just to get out there and play the game. Another team down in Division 3, Sage Creek. This is a new school for you out there that are new to San Diego high school sports. This is the first year that they've had seniors even, so to see them in the running as a top team in Division 3, that's a great sign. Tell me a little bit about the Bobcats.
Excellent. And they're led by their sophomore, who's Dylan Manatee, and he's having a great start to the season. They've got a young team, as you mentioned, and I look for them to continue to do well, at least based on what we've seen so far.
Let's round out Division 3 with La Jolla Country Day. The Torreys, tell me about them.
Torrey's coming off another good year last year. In the Division 3, it's a little more of a challenge because we have play-ins and we just take 2 teams into the CIF. And unfortunately for Country Day and Francis Parker last year, didn't make it as a team, but they had a lot of individuals make it into CIF, and I look for a strong season from Country Day again.
You bring up a really, really interesting and almost more enjoyable part than any other sport here in San Diego, is that you can come into the postseason either as a team or as an individual. So every single match you play, something's on the line. Am I doing well enough for myself? Am I doing well enough for my team?
Absolutely. It's a really unique sport. I mean, we love it. I love the way the Parker boys have come together, and I think that that's representative of many of the teams that are out playing. And it's a sport we play as individuals with teammates, and it's quite unique in that aspect. So you're playing for your team, for your school, but also for yourself. And I think it's wonderful that a great player can be rewarded and participate in CIF as an individual, whereas if their school wasn't maybe as strong, or they wouldn't have.
Gives you a little bit of leeway.
To participate,
not be buried down at the bottom of a roster that's holding you back.
Or the postseason, if you want to call it that. That's what
we can call it the postseason. Everyone's going to the postseason, and we're going to go to commercial break for a week. You've got practice to go to today. I'm going to go catch out some other games, folks. All season long for the rest of the year, we're going to be here every single week talking about various things. If you want us to talk about a specific team, we're only 2 people. We can't cover the whole county ourselves. So tweet at us, email us, send a mail, I guess, to Francis Parker if you're really that desperate to get in communications with us. And we'll be back every Tuesday. Coach, thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Best of luck tonight.
Thanks, Christian.